Hello, I'm Cactus Rose Amber, and welcome to Better Than Paradise. We are using the Tales from the Loop role-playing game system as a basis to play this Blackout Club inspired story. Some special thanks and shoutouts. Thank you to Drumurboy for letting me use his old tongue lo-fi beats to chill and sleepwalk to. Thank you to Question Games for creating Blackout Club and allowing us to experience this world and lore. Thank you to Free League Publishing for making the Tales from the Loop books and campaigns easily accessible. And thank you to everyone who is here, to those lurking, to those voting, and to those who will watch this later. We sincerely appreciate you. Some content warnings. This game is heavily inspired by the content of the Blackout Club, which has a group of teenagers exploring a small suburban town looking for evidence of strange events. As such, there may be scenes with blood and evidence of crimes like kidnapping and murder. Now it's time to tell a story about some teenagers. Let's meet our players. Finch. Oh! It didn't transmit, motherfucker. There it goes. There's my F-bomb. There's my F-bomb. Alright, try again, Finch.
Hello, I'm Finch. I use they, them pronouns. I am playing Logan, the popular kid who uses she, her.
Ryko.
Hi, I'm Raiko, and I use she, her pronouns. In this game, I will be playing Milo, and he is the Hick.
Cam.
Hi, I'm Cam, he, they, and I am playing Theo the Jock. She, they, he.
And Max.
I'm Max. I play Thomas. He is the bookworm.
Alright. And now, OP time. Be right back.
I don't know if I should do a voice. I don't do voices
Stop.
very well. I don't think I'm
Stop.
going to be doing one.
Stop.
He told me I should
Stop.
have a southern accent.
Stop. Wow, we're having time. Okay. Everyone could hear you. Everyone could hear you.
We were
Everyone's
just talking about how fantastic Amber is.
Stop. Okay. We're going into this. Haven Hill is a small town. It's a quiet town, around for maybe 80 years, and it is strange and wonderful. They are in the radio quiet zone. There's a surprising amount of things to explore, paths to wander, people to meet. Much of the land is either dense forest or farmland, and everyone knows almost everyone. Many of your family members or grandparents were encouraged to move to Haven Hill, and as such, many of you, if not all, were born and raised here. Your high school, Harmony High, has an illustrious choir and frequently visits locations in the district to perform. The lacrosse team is fairly popular, and it can be difficult to get seats to home games. Who wants to start us off?
I can if you want.
You were perfectly loud earlier, and now
I
you
know.
went quiet.
Sorry. I should talk like normal. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're
we're
fine.
Good.
Yeah,
That's my scared voice.
you're good. You're cool.
So, is it okay if it's like after school?
Yeah, it's totally fine that it's after school.
Okay, can he feed his chickens after school?
Yes, he can be feeding his chickens after school.
Thank you.
All right. How many chickens does he have?
10.
10 chickens. Do you have names for
Mhm.
all of them? I have to ask.
Yes, but don't ask me what they are.
Okay. All right. So Milo's feeding his chickens.
Mhm.
Do you have a... Let's see here. How long has your family owned the farm?
Probably ever since they came to this town.
Okay. All right. Probably like grandparents to your parents to kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah, so his whole life for sure.
Definitely. All right. How does... I'm trying to figure out how to do a thing. How does he... Like, does he adore his chickens?
Yes, they're his babies. All the animals on their farm, he loves them.
Okay. And how long does he like spend time doing this? Like, does he like take his time in it, or is it one of those of like, okay, no, I have to hurry because I have so many animals I need to feed?
No, he'll take his time. He'll probably talk to them too.
What sorts of
But-
things does he say to his chickens?
He's like, "You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work." And they're just chickens. So
They're just chickens.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just wants to encourage them because animals need that too.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Okay. What is Axel doing?
um, Probably just watching, following him around.
Okay. All right. Does Axel mess around with the chickens at all, or does he know better than that?
Axel's a good boy. He knows better.
He knows better. Okay. For those of you, for everyone
Axel's
here,
dog.
Axel is Milo's German Shepherd. Milo's baby.
Mhm.
He's big.
He's a baby.
They're all babies.
They're all
of the
babies. They're all
animals.
puppers. Good boy. Okay, he's a good boy. Anyway, I'm trying to think. So Milo's feeding his chickens. He's talking to his chickens. Axel's just hanging around. It's this picturesque scene of farmland. What does his parents do? Like,
I imagine they'd be there too, working as well.
okay. All right. Because yeah, you have a picturesque, loving family. Other than your brother who went missing. All right. Trying to think of a way to introduce conflict on like how your character will handle it. But your character's in such like a good feel-goodsy situation. This is difficult. Yes, we must protect Milo.
Yes.
Does he have any plants that he favors? Does he take care of does he grow his own stuff? Does he...
I feel like the family definitely
Mhm.
does have lots of crops and stuff, but he favors the animals. He'll help with the plants, but that's just not his scene.
Okay. So he doesn't have any plant children, he just has animal children.
Hmm.
Okay, alright. I'm deciding now you have homework that you have to come up with names for all your animals.
I will. I have a lot of names already, just not all.
Gotcha. Okay. Alright. Let's see here. Flip through, sorry. You know what? Milo, as you're feeding your chickens, you realize 2 of them are not in their pen.
Is it Bells?
One of them is Bells.
No.
Your prized favorite chicken, Bells,
No.
is missing.
That's so horrible.
How are you gonna find Bells?
Mm. Is my dog smart enough to enlist help from, or no?
Your dog probably has can probably help, yeah.
Well, okay. Then he'd probably go around the whole entire farm calling for the missing chickens.
Alright. Let's do an investigate mind check to help you find your lovely, lovely chicken. And you're gonna get an additional 2 dice because you have Axel helping you.
Okay, cool. We're gonna find Devin and Belle.
No!
Two missing chickens, Devin and Bells.
Alright. You find Bells.
Yay!
For sure. And you believe Axel's on the trail for Devin. I can't believe you're naming your chicken. Alright, I need you to do another investigate to find. I can't really, Devin and I did not put it two together when you said you wanted to name your chicken Bells. I was just like, yeah, sure, no problem. Now my brain has gone through and been like, Amber, you're stupid.
I planned this for weeks.
Okay. Roll your 7d6 again.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes. No worries, you're good.
Devin and Bells.
Ah!
Oh.
Dang.
He likes his chickens.
He
okay.
really
Yeah, he
likes his
does.
chicken, and Axel knows the smell of these chickens so well that between Milo's affection and Axel's skills with his sniffer, you managed to find Devin as well. And so with a chicken under each arm, you hike on back to your farm.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Do you lecture your chickens at all? Do you?
Absolutely on the way. Yes.
What sort of things do you tell them?
How you can't just do that. You could have gotten hurt. You gotta stay in your house. This is the safe space. Outside is the not safe space. Okay? Okay. And then he put them back.
Wonderful. All right. Do you give a benefit? Like, do you thank Axel for his help?
Absolutely. Axel gets some pats.
Awesome. For being the goodest boy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you for introducing Milo and his absolutely sweet attitude.
Yeah.
Who wants to go next? Don't all volunteer at once, guys.
I was literally just about to make that comment.
I'll go.
Yay! Okay. All right. So, what's the scene you have in mind?
Is Thomas would be hanging out in the library after school
Mm-hmm.
and would be chatting with the librarian, who sort of just idly half listens, half drifts off
Mm-hmm.
as Thomas rants about a new topic he found.
Gotcha. All right. And what's the topic he's rambling about now?
He is rambling about the topic of sociology. probably going on about how it's such an interesting topic. It's all about the evolution of culture and how cultures interact. That sort of thing.
That sort of thing. And where is he getting his information from? Like, is he gesturing to books that he's read? Is he citing his sources?
He definitely has a book in his hand that he is quickly flipping through page by page, half reading the first few sentences of a paragraph and then flipping to another one.
Gotcha. Okay. I imagine the librarian, Miss Spector, I believe is the name you've given her, is there, and she's click-clacking at her keyboard, inputting new books that are being added to the school library from a generous donation. And she's kind of nodding along, like half listening, half doing her data entry. Is this a normal situation for the two of them?
Oh yes, this is a very common situation.
Okay. Does Thomas sit on the opposite side of the librarian desk, or does Miss Specker let him kind of join her on this side of the desk?
He's on the other side, probably leaning against the desk and just flipping through pages.
All right. She goes through, and as she with finality hits enter on a book, she turns to Thomas and says, you've read every book in our library about this topic. Do you...
Amazing.
Hmm?
Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, what were you saying?
As many as I can find.
Do you... I mean, I could put in a request for another one if you have a title or an author in mind. Maybe we can get the funding to get more.
He closes the book and sort of sits there pondering a little bit and says, I don't know.
Okay. Well, you know, it's at least an option for you. It's just, she looks at the pile of books that she just finished entering into the system, but still need to be have the barcode stickers put on and then put on the shelves and everything. And she's like, I was hoping this donation would have something that, might interest you, but based on our conversations, I don't think this would work. And she kind of hums and gets lost in her thoughts. Do you look at the box that the books came in?
Sure.
All right.
I take a quick look and scan the titles, see if there's anything that could be of any interest.
None of the titles jump out at you. But what's interesting is a very vibrant red sticker stating the donation was supplied by Chorus Communities.
Interesting.
Which is a name you would recognize based on the fact that Redacre is nearby, and Chorus has been steadily becoming more and more involved in Haven Hill as well. But you wouldn't really expect them to donate books to a school.
I'll go up to the librarian again. Go. I don't see anything. But why did they send a bunch of books over here?
She is kind of jarred out of her thoughts, and it's like, yeah, I didn't think anything would really catch your eye, but thought it was worth a shot. She pulls at a letter in a envelope and folds it open, and she's like, according to this, they were hoping to be, they had extras, I guess, from some of their classes, and they wanted to be helpful and supply them to a school that might need it. I was kind of hoping they might be more on the textbook side, but I don't know, they're kind of all over the place. She shakes her
What are
head.
the books?
You see some of them are more like encyclopedia-esque. Some of them are glossaries of random things. Not glossaries. Kind of like the such and such for dummies kind of series, but like regarding like instruments, regarding public speaking, regarding building a community, friendships. Some of them look like they're more
community, or are they books like kid books about friendship?
Some of them look more like for kids, but for some reason they donated them to the high school. Possibly a error in what book got sent to where, or just an oversight on their part. And then yeah, Miss Specker just kind of shakes her head. And she's like, well, I'll keep an eye out for you, Thomas. Maybe we'll get something new in for you soon.
Turning back towards the librarian, he asks, kind of shyly, do you think they would let me to check out any of their books?
She fiddles with like her hair bun, with like tightening it, and thinks on it. I mean, maybe if you take like, as long as you have your school ID card, maybe. I mean, I think we're in the same school district, so I wouldn't see why not, as long as you can actually return them on time. I don't want to have to deal with Central High and them trying to get back a book. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. He grabs the book that he took out. He didn't actually, like, take it out. He just removed it from the shelf and started reading. And he goes and puts it back where he found it.
She offers him a smile as thanks. And begins hitting buttons to get the barcodes to print out so she can continue on with her job. Let's see here. Trying. She doesn't bother asking, like, why aren't you with your friends? Because you guys have had this you've had various versions of that conversation before. Doesn't ask why you're using your time hanging out in the library. She just kind of offers you a smile and reminds you that she's there. If you need anything. I can't.
I give a
No, go for it. Proceed.
I small smile and go, well, I think I'll head over and see if I can find another book on this. Well, it looks like they might have something on it. Some weird titles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me know. Keep me in the loop. And we will leave that scene there. No dice rolls for you.
Disappointing.
I know. I couldn't come up with something that would need your dice roll. Alright. Logan or Theo?
Eyeballs emoji.
What, do you want to go first?
I can go first, unless you'd like
If you
to.
want. Well, I'm
Cool,
down
we're
for
both
whatever.
indecisive.
yeah.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Gay
I'm
life.
slightly less indecisive.
Alright. So, where do you want to start your scene?
Logan, we're gonna start with Logan probably in the high school cafeteria at the same table that she always sits at with her 3 friends. And it's like the middle of the period, I'd say, and Logan has like 3 separate worksheets spread out across her area. She hasn't touched her food, and she's just not frantically, but very intently trying to work on these worksheets.
Okay. What are the worksheets on?
Ugh, math.
Math. Alright. I feel like just because it's math, we have to use a calculate check.
Oh, no. Alright.
Do you understand the current homework?
Let's see. Okay, so is that...
That's your tech plus your calculate ability skill.
Okay, if I don't have any points allocated to that, then it's just...
That's just the
base
flat
tech.
tech skill.
Got it.
Or tech ability, sorry. Nope, it's full spell out roll.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
You do remember being in class for it, but it just did not click for you. It didn't make any sense whatsoever.
She's frustrated. She's like got that one head. She's got like the one hand on her head, and she's like trying to think about this. The other hand just like tapping the pencil. She can't figure this out, and she's not so much annoyed at the fact that she can't figure it out, but she's just annoyed at something else.
Mm-hmm. As Logan struggles with her math homework, Lula is currently fiddling with her hair, like constantly using her selfie cam as in place of a mirror, trying to fix her hair and staring in it. You occasionally see her angle the like her phone in a certain way, and she snickers. Nadia is reluctantly picking at her salad, removing like her cucumbers and just random pieces of her salad that make no sense off to the side, and just leaving the mixed greens in her bowl. She like sees you struggling with your homework and just shakes her head, not even gonna try and like offer you help.
She doesn't even notice the others not really paying attention. Just probably glances up to look at them, glances back down, and then realizes that, hey, what the heck are you doing, Nadia?
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of frowns at Nadia's salad and is like, are you not going to eat any of that?
Nadia, like, waves off Logan's concerns. And it's like, no, I had a big breakfast. I just... Like, do you see what look, it's not good. She, like, gestures at some of the cucumbers, and she's like, look, it's not even, like, the right, like, ripeness or texture, and they just put it in my salad. Like, why would I eat that? You kind of get the idea that she's trying to almost distract from the current situation going on. Knowing knowing Logan's frustrated, and knowing that Lula's doing her own thing. You said 3 friends. I'm assuming it's your 2 friends and your boyfriend.
He would be sitting at a separate table, but
He
he
would be
would
sitting.
occasionally drop by.
Okay. Alright. I don't have the 3rd friend.
No, I meant it. 3 friends as in Logan, Nadia.
Okay,
And
gotcha. Wanted to make sure I understood correctly.
all good.
Do you go back to trying to do your homework, or?
Logan would probably roll her eyes at whatever Nadia's saying, put the pencil down, kind of aggressively reach over and grab one of the cucumbers, and then start eating that. And just while angrily staring down, like, at the worksheet, just kind of gesture to it, and after she swallows, really wish she wouldn't do this so often.
The homework?
Well, I wish he would do his homework more often. And she glances, like, over Nadia's shoulder to the table where Eric is sitting.
Eric, at this point, I assume, is talking loudly, loud enough that almost like the entire cafeteria can hear him, proclaiming something about how he did something so great. He's very very popular. A lot of kids fight to try and join him at his table. And the current crowd just seems to be totally smitten with the story that he's telling. You immediately recognize it as one you've heard at least 4 times. And like any it's like a fisherman's tale. It just keeps getting bigger and more absurd every time you hear it. Nadia, like, looks at him and, like, looks back at you. And she's like, is he making you do your homework? Like, making you do his homework?
Well, it's like, he had practice last night, so he was really tired, so I offered to take care of it for him.
Nadia immediately, like, kind of leans across the table, like, propping herself up with her elbows, and it was just like, you can't let him do that to you. You can't even get your own homework done. Why are you doing his?
Well, it's fine. It's just, I should have been paying more attention in class, so...
And he could have just done his homework and dealt with the lack of sleep.
She looks away, and she doesn't really... It looks like she doesn't want to keep talking about it.
Nadia, like, scowls. Her thin eyebrows kind of scrunched together, and her lips curled downwards. You're like, immediately struck with, like, how similar she looks to her mom in, like, the brief time that you met her. And Nadia's, like, just kind of, like, flops back on the on her chair and goes back to picking at her salad, having read your mood. Lula, however, turns off, like, puts her phone in sleep mode and, like, looks at you, and she's like, do we need to have a talk with him?
No, I offered, it's fine. And besides, we're going out tomorrow, so...
She puts down her phone and proceeds to start eating her lunch. When she notices you haven't eaten, she pulls the papers away from you and says, "Eat first."
She looks like she's going to protest, and then just kind of shuts her mouth, sighs, and pulls over her lunch closer to herself and starts to pick at it as well.
Lula and Nadia make eye contact, kind of like do a nod, and also go back to eating. You can still hear Eric proclaiming his absurd successes in whatever it is that he has done this time. He mentions how good he is with the sport that he plays. He mentions like how the team would be nothing without him. He mentions his good scores on like homework, like test scores, everything, and everyone just keeps lapping it up. It's like no other noise is being transmitted through the cafeteria. Everyone can just hear Eric talk.
Logan's not very pleased about it, but she does eventually like stop picking and actually get some food down, and then try and go back to continuing the math sheet with hopefully less frustration built up.
Okay. And while you struggle, like you go back to doing the homework, Tallulah finishes her lunch, moves the plate, the little paper plate off to the side, with her lunchbox, everything. And she looks extremely frustrated over how loud Eric is being. Nadia looks at her and says nothing.
Logan's gone right back to trying to work on the worksheet. She probably glance up and again do a similar double take like she did with Nadia's salad, except this time noticing Tallulah's expression, and she just like pause and go, "What?"
She like looks at her nails. I'm tired of him being loud, she says, and stands up.
Tallulah.
She turns and sits on the lunch table, crosses her legs, and just watches him.
Tallulah, what are you doing?
Waiting.
For?
See how long he stops. And goes through, opens her phone, and hits the stopwatch. And just stares at him, not blinking, as the stopwatch starts counting.
Logan, like, groans, sighs, kind of puts her head in her hands, and then sits back up and tugs on the back of Lula's shirt, and gestures to the worksheets on the table. Listen, it's because of the homework. It's fine. I have history next period, I'll just ask that kid who sits next to me to finish up this work for me.
Tallulah doesn't look happy about it, but she says, fine, stops the stopwatch and returns to her chair. You notice multiple people had noticed Tallulah just staring at Eric. Like, just glaring a hole into him.
But he didn't notice, did he?
No, he did not.
Logan watches him for a bit, kind of like, there's not really any joy when she's watching him, but she sighs again, shakes her head, and tucks the rest of the papers back into her bag before leaning back in her chair and just starting to watch the lunchroom, see if there's anything else that they can conveniently pick on to get the mood changed.
You know, I'm gonna let you do one more skill check and then we're gonna move on. We're gonna do a... Let's see here. Let's do an empathize check. It's empathize plus mind.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
As far as you can tell, it's... You might just be like a little shaken up from how much Tallulah was ready to possibly start a war, but you don't really notice anything. You can't come up with anything to change the energy at the table, much less in the cafeteria itself. And with that, we move on to Theo.
Hog. Sorry, I don't know why. That just kind of came out. Anyways. No, I imagine it's after the school day, after practice, Theo would be hanging around the outskirts of the field, just waiting for Damien, her best friend, to show up. And Damien had recently gotten her into Mario Kart, and mind you, she sucks at it. But he's just the right amount of smug and competitive to keep her encouraged, but not... I had a word and then I lost it because Coda's batting at my...
Keep her invested?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
But nah, she'd just be hanging around waiting for him to show up so they could walk home together.
What would Damien be doing? Well, like, what would he have been doing to not have been around originally?
I imagine he has another group of friends he hangs out with as well beforehand, or at least that day hung out with them beforehand.
Ah. Okay. So Damien was hanging out with other friends while waiting for wow, my brain just totally waiting for Theo to get done with practice.
Yes.
And so Damien comes up, kind of runs up from where he was hanging out. You, from previous instances and everything, you know Damien and the other part, like that other group of friends, tend to hang out at a park just off of school campus, kind of like taking over a picnic table or underneath one of the really, really large trees and just being loud and obnoxious in the best way teenagers can be. And he goes through and offers you a giant smile. How was practice today? He says as he like runs up, slightly out of breath.
Hey, yeah, don't exhaust yourself. Jesus, still got the walk home. No, it could have been better. Someone got hit in the head with a stick, but you know what's new.
He shakes his head and he's like, "You'd think people would learn to avoid the stick at this point."
Evidently not.
Mm. Damien sighs and reaches into his bag and pulls out what Damien would know Theo's favorite drink. So he reaches in, pulls out one of them, and offers it to Theo
Oh,
for the walk home.
thank you. When'd you pick this up?
Found it at they looked like they had refilled or restocked the drink machine on campus, so figured why not, you know?
Oh, thank you.
Pulls out his own, some obnoxious sugar-filled, not energy drink, but totally could be an energy drink. And gestures toward the road, like, you ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, you two start heading towards home. And what sort of things do you talk about?
Do teenagers talk about?
I know, right? What the heck? Probably complain about homework, probably complain about somebody's annoying them in class or like just behavior in general. Whatever frustration they might have with family.
Man, my brain did not get this far. I apologize.
No worries. Damien rambles on about how Joe had been given detention like for all of next week because he dared sass back the history teacher. There was
Good,
something about how how another person had finally gotten the courage to ask out their crush and like was telling everyone how that didn't go too well after school. There's just Damien kind of almost like regurgitates all of the rumors that he heard or all of the things that he happened to overhear while hanging out after school. And he recites it back to Theo in like the most monotone, disinterested voice. Like apparently this is stuff that everybody should know, but he very obviously doesn't care, and yet does it because he thinks it entertains Theo.
Yeah, Theo would not be privy to any of that, so you know, gotta keep up just enough interest to, you know, be grateful for the information given, because she probably wouldn't have cared much about too much of it, but it's good to be on the know.
Date and let's see here. What does your neighborhood look like? Like your part of town, the part that you consider yours, if you had to call it yours. Like what's the vibes?
Probably relatively quiet. It's not as filled with, you know, a bunch of kids or high schoolers as other streets might be. Maybe go a block over and maybe it's a bit busier, but their block, I imagine it's pretty quiet, mellow.
Okay.
A couple people probably have terrible taste of house color. I imagine there's a flamingo pink house across the way.
flamingo pink. It probably glows in the dark just because of how bright it is.
The best one to ding dong ditch.
Of course, of course. In fact, you probably have convinced Damien to do that at least 3 or 4 times just the past month. Somehow, the owners of that house still haven't caught on that it only happens after school, and that they probably should just stop going to the door. And yet, Damien gestures and points at one of the houses that you guys walk past all the time, and is all, I heard the Macmillans are moving out.
Did they give any explanation as to why?
I think Miss Macmillan got a better job in Redacre? Like, they offered her more money? But...
Huh.
I don't... No... Not even, Travis really knows. He just knows that all of a sudden he's having to pack and move to Redacre.
And they're not given... He didn't even get a chance to say goodbye, really? Or...
Nah, I think he's just long enough. I think he still has to be here for that stupid bio test. But... It's not... He's not gonna hang around for much longer, I don't think.
Jeez. I wonder what kind of a... I wonder how much they're paying. Like, I think it's pretty nice here.
That's the thing, right? Like, I haven't heard... I mean, not that our parents tell us anything, but, like, I haven't heard anybody really complain, like, about wanting more money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly.
So, the fact that just out of nowhere, you're just... Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna suck not having Travis here.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Try it. You approach... Whose house would be first? Yours or Damien's?
You know what? Why not Damien's?
Alright. So as you approach this house that's painted like the blue that they say is sky blue, but it totally isn't sky blue. At least not in your part of the world. With the dark shingles and misshapen shrubberies and a tree that you know, like, that is kind of broken in half from when everyone was younger and Damien climbed on it before it was ready or strong enough to be climbed on and broke it.
Oops.
And he's like, alright, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Alright.
Same time, same place.
Sounds good. And he, like, elbows you, like, playfully.
He'd get one right back, maybe a bit harder, but done out of love.
He stumbles, somehow caught off guard, even though he should know better by now, and heads inside without a wave. And do you head straight home?
Yeah, probably a little slower than usual, but yeah, just to... You're not allowed to go outside. Yeah.
Okay. Alright. And then I think we'll end your scene here. So, Night happens. You all sleep. It's restful. It's peaceful. Some of you get more sleep than others. Not out of any bad reasons. Just some of you go to bed earlier than others. And some of you have some version of insomnia. You wake up. You get ready for school. Some of you ate breakfast. Some of you don't. And some of you have done your homework. Some of you may have not. And you have class. Classes pass by. Nothing really remarkable. Nothing of note. And then lunchtime happens. And you all are there in the cafeteria. You all are there eating your lunch, whether you brought it with you or you bought it from a vending machine or from the actual cafeteria itself. And then you begin to hear a rumor. There is a rumor that people are going missing. Kids your age group are just disappearing in the night. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And yet, a lot of parents are worried. Most of the rumors seem to be coming from kids whose parents are most worried. Remarking that it's all their parents are talking about. It's how curfew's been lowered for them because their parents don't want to risk the chance of losing them too. They say this sarcastically, like, you know, teenage angst, who needs it? And it seems like this aura of fear has kind of laid itself in the cafeteria.
Logan doesn't like this. Not a fan of that kind of tension, especially not in such a crowded area. But she does try and play it off. She, like, you know, hearing all however many whispers have been happening throughout the day. She'd, like, lean back in her chair and roll her eyes, and to her, again, usual group, Nadia and Lula, she'd say, I really hope this doesn't mess with that party this weekend. I was looking forward to that.
Nadia nods. You can tell she is a bit disappointed. Yeah, no, I mean, if they're making everyone go home earlier, then how are we supposed to be out as late as we planned? Do you think they're gonna make the cops patrol more?
She rolls her eyes again. Shrugs and looks to Lula to see what she thinks.
Lula's like, it doesn't matter. We're still going. It'd be a crime for them to have a party and us not be there.
She looked a little bit like tense, but at Lula's confidence, she does laugh a little, and you can see she relaxes a little bit. She's, you know, glad that if this doesn't seem to be bothering Lula, then she has no reason to be bothered by it.
Mm-hmm. Nadia doesn't seem as convinced just yet, and kind of like looks at Lula. It's like, what do you... Are you sure about it? Like... And Lula, like, heaves a dramatic sigh, rolling her eyes. Yeah, no, I'm not scared.
Logan looks at Nadia and is like, why, are you scared?
Nadia looks around and leans forward And she's like, look, everything has gotten a little bit wonky since that girl from Red Acre went missing. All right. And she looks a little disappointed at admitting this. The dearest dad won't stop blowing up my phone if I'm not home, like, at least once an hour. She sounds extremely frustrated. How am I supposed to get... It's infuriating. I can't... He will not stop. He's so worried. And I don't get it. That's in Red Acre. Why does it matter that it's... Like... Lula... Oh.
Logan rolls her eyes and nods and is like, exactly. He's being stupid. Just, like, ignore him and deal with it the next day. Red Acre is ages from here. No one goes there anyways.
Lula, like, flips her hair, like, looking at the ends of it. She just seems very... She's very much projecting this aura of confidence. Yeah, no, maybe if you tell dearest dad that I now have pepper spray. And Nadia's like, you have pepper spray? And Tulu's like, yeah, no, I have pepper spray. It was given to me, like, at the age of 10. It's gotta be stronger now, right? Like, I don't think that stuff expires. We'll be fine. It's not an issue.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Nadia looks a little bit more comforted by the fact that at least one of you has, like, a self-defense item of some kind. What about Thomas? What's Thomas doing during all of this?
This moment, Thomas is probably just doesn't care. He wasn't gonna do anything anyways, particularly interesting. Everything happening right now is just sort of background for him. Probably just eating his lunch quietly alone.
Alright. What about Milo?
He's probably with his... I feel like he'd have a good friend and they'd always eat together at a table.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely would bring up his brother, but like as an afterthought because it's not that similar, right?
Yeah, totally not similar.
Okay then, yeah. So they'd like chat as usual.
Yeah. Alright, the friend just kind of like nods along with what Milo says, just stuffing their face with
Can
food.
I name him Oscar?
His name can totally be Oscar. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Oscar is like he's very focused on eating, but his eyes, he's making eye contact with Milo, being like, I'm listening. Don't be fooled by how much I'm eating right now, but I'm listening.
Sweet.
Theo?
Yeah, actually, could Theo hunt down Travis? Assuming he's in the cafeteria at the time?
Yeah, totally. Wait,
Okay,
Travis?
yeah.
Travis.
Yeah.
Travis. Sorry, my brain's like, wait.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted by chat.
No worries.
Um,
Wait a second. Who's Travis? My brain's...
the rumor,
The kid who's
Terrible
moving
last
away.
name.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
totally. Yes, you can totally hunt down Travis.
she would probably just like give a wave real quick and just invite herself. If there was someone on the seat next to him, she'd just gladly like sidle up to them and scoot them a little further off so she has room on the seat as well. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She just needs to get the point across.
Yeah.
And she'll just lean over and be like, hey, so I heard you guys are moving, and with all this stuff about kids going missing, do your parents not care? Are they Are you still going?
Travis, like, sighs and shakes his head. Apparently the pay's too good. It's practically double what they were paying her here.
I think that's a bunch of BS. You know, you'd think safety would. Okay.
Yeah,
Do you-
no. Travis
Do you want me to talk to them?
Travis laughs and is like, nah, don't. My aunt, my uncle, everyone's already tried, and mom's just really insistent that this is gonna be good for us. So, I mean, it sucks, you know. I'll have to go to fucking Central. Wow. 2.
There
Okay.
it is. That's the.
Bad. Okay, hold on. I need to chug water. Yeah. No. I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble.
-1 in the community jar.
-1 in the community jar. I'll just mute myself. No, and, he. I don't even remember what I said.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. He's like, yeah, no, it's just everyone has tried. It's just not worth. They're so. It's Central. Like, who wants to go to Central?
Not me. I feel like it's too prim and proper over there, if I'm being entirely honest. Like, you know, I haven't been there myself, but I've heard things, and quite frankly, I like things the way they are here. But if you ever need a place to crash, well, my back window's always unlocked, much to the, well, you know, just stay safe, okay?
And Travis sighs and he's like, I might take you up on that, but hopefully not, you know?
Yeah.
And as he kind of stares at the cafeteria table and then like reaches over and almost like grabs your shirt.
Oh, she'd be a little taken aback by that.
Like your sleeve, like right by your arm. It's just like, if would you take care of the stray cats?
Of course.
I'm obviously not going to be able to, but there's all that food in, you know where that is. You've been there.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I got you covered.
Okay. And he sighs and he's like, you probably should eat lunch, and like looks around, nervous that he got so not emotional, but very obviously upset over the conversation. But I'll let you know if I hear anything else.
Thank you. And if you ever need an excuse to come see the cats or anyone here, I'm pretty good at bullshitting my way through stuff. Just let me know.
Will do. All right.
Stay safe.
You too. He seems a little more better. He seems better knowing that at least in some way people aren't going to immediately forget him when he like leaves town. Anybody else want to do anything before lunch break is over? Vibe.
I think we're all just vibing.
Okay.
We're vibing, yeah.
And with that, lunch break is over. You all...
back to class.
I know, right? Back to class.
Ugh.
Back to expectations.
Uh,
Back to learning about things that you don't necessarily care about.
Hey, Thomas is interested in class.
Thomas is an exception, not the rule. And for the rest of the day, there just seems to be almost like a wet blanket just over the school of dread and fear, and the implication that for a long time, or at least for the immediate future, parents are going to care too much about what you all are doing, and there will be a lack of freedom.
I'm not happy about this.
And school wraps up, and it's the end of the day. Some of you go to practice, some of you hang out with friends, some of you go home, some of you go to the library. But what do you do? Do you continue thinking about this possibility of people going missing? Do you let it not bother you and pretend everything is fine?
all this while.
All is well.
I feel like he'd ask his mom.
You think Milo would ask his mom?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. When would he ask his mom?
After school.
Okay. So, Milo would find his mother, probably tending. She probably has her own like personal garden, I'm imagining. She does like composting. She does all kinds of. She has like a system, and while Milo and your father James may not understand it, Clarice is like, no, this, I have to do this by the thing. Like, she's very retentive on it. And as she has like gloves up to her elbows and just kind of like digging in the dirt when Milo gets home, humming to herself.
Oh. Yeah, he'd definitely go there first.
Okay.
He doesn't really have a filter when it comes to his parents because he doesn't really need to. He'll just tell them anything.
Mhm.
So I feel like he'd explain the rumors he heard and then ask what she thought about it.
She greets him warmly when he gets home, offering him a bright smile, and immediately stops taking care of her plants to kind of sit up and listen to what Milo has to say. She listens and is trying not to immediately jump to conclusions. And it says that it's definitely something that could be, I should be worried about, she thinks. She mentions a lot of times when kids go missing, it's usually somebody close by, it's usually somebody who knows them very well. And so if kids in the town just next door, just a very quick walk away, are missing, then it could be anyone here, it could be anyone there, it could be people that the communities trust, and that's something that she's worried about. But she does offer a smile, like another smile, and it's like, but I know you have you know how to view people. You know how to, you listen to your gut, Milo. And I'm gonna trust that if something was to happen, you would know to get yourself safe.
He'd look thoughtful. And he'd slowly nod and say, thanks, Mom. Yeah. I think I'll know what to do.
She nods. I think you would too. And like, kind of looks, and she's like, but it wouldn't hurt for you to take Axel with you places more.
I tried to take him to school, but they said no.
Maybe we can figure something out. But, you know, we got you, Axel, for a reason.
Yeah. Do you think they'll let me take Bells to school?
Oh my god.
She pauses. Looks thoughtful. We might be able to argue it. I mean, Bells doesn't make a lot of noise. But,
Yeah.
I mean, we do have the issue of the being... we do have the issue of... I feel like a chicken would be more distracting than a dog at school in general.
Yeah, if I lose her, that's gonna be a problem, so...
She did get out yesterday.
Yeah, she is smart. Okay.
Okay. Before going back into digging in the dirt, digging in the ground, she makes the point of asking, anything else you need, Milo?
No, that's all I wanted to ask about for now.
Okay.
And then he'd go off and do his usual chores.
Alright. Anyone else doing anything immediately after school?
Going straight home.
Alright.
Yeah, Logan would go straight home. She wouldn't mention anything to her parents, but I feel like her mother would like try and catch her as she's still downstairs, and her mother would bring up, "Hey, there's stuff going on."
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's see here. Does she successfully stop you? She does not. It's probably more of the you get home and kind of dart to your room.
Mm-hmm.
As
Brush
she's,
her off.
yeah. And you hear her like heave a sigh. You can almost imagine her shaking her head like, this girl. What am I gonna do with her?
Too bad Logan doesn't care and will go to her room regardless.
Mm-hmm. And does Theo do anything after practice specifically, or is it more?
I'd like to think she does have a spot that she retreats to, like just I wouldn't say in more along like would you say that the high school's near a forest land at all, or is it more central to the town itself?
I think the high school's more central to the town itself. The forest is more placed, kind of acts as like a boundary line between Haven Hill and Redacre. Theoretically, if you wanted to, you could follow the edge of the forest, and whichever direction you go, you would find your way to either Redacre or Haven Hill. But There are many parks with numerous trees. The people in the area made a point of trying to keep a lot of natural stuff going on, so it's not just a concrete city.
Yeah, I think she'd have claimed a tree in a park, just large enough to, you know, sit up in.
Gotcha.
Might not be the most comfortable, but hey, place to sit and think and maybe do homework. And if you're fine with a bit of leaves getting in your hair on your papers.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. So, she does her homework. In this wonderful, wonderful place that she finds relaxing. It's... Why is it doing this? Just... Does she understand her homework?
If it's history homework, do we have the history teacher solidified?
We do not have the history teacher solidified yet, so if you want to
Because
go
I
ahead and
would-
claim the history teacher and name them.
Names I suck at.
Okay.
But I do think that I get the impression of what's you know, the kind of personality that only clicks with a certain number of people, but the majority are just like, I can't stand your presence.
Yes.
That's the kind of personality vibe I get, and I feel like history would be Theo's least favorite class.
All right.
So she gets the home. I would hope she gets the homework, but
Mm-hmm.
does not like the teacher in the slightest.
Gotcha. Okay, we're gonna say the history teacher is Mr. Harris. And Mr. Harris just like has given has stuck to his syllabus that he gave out from the very beginning of the school year to the worst possible fashion. That even when the kids, like the rest of the you, are struggling with remembering dates, struggling with remembering anything, when you guys are uncertain on events, you like if a bunch of you fail the test, he doesn't care. He moves forward with what you guys are supposed to learn for the semester. He's very focused on following the requirements set in like by like the Department of Education and everything. He's like, we have to do this by this date, we have to do this by this date. If you don't understand it too damn bad, we're doing it.
Ew.
And as such, there's a lot of history that gets glossed over.
That seems on par for the American education system.
I have a lot of feelings about the American education system.
Me too.
So as such, I would like you to do a comprehend mind check.
See. Oh boy, that's only a 5d6 Godspeed.
Why is that not me?
Oh, okay. Whew.
Aha! You happen to understand the assignment this week, or at least for this specific class.
Thank God.
Not because of anything that he taught you, but more because you remember it from a previous lesson, like in middle school or something, and so you're able to kind of like go off of it from there. And with like a little struggle, but you managed to complete your homework with what you believe is very few errors. You were able to get it done. If anything, you probably struggled more with keeping your attention on it than anything.
That seems on point. That is very on point.
And so I think at this point we're going to take a 5 to 10 minute break for stretching, hydration, food if you need to. But everybody stick around. We will be right back. welcome back. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Right before our quick break, everyone was just kind of dealing with their own things and trying to not let the disappearing people ruin their mood. Or we're doing homework or reading. A lot of people doing a lot of things. Can I get all of you to roll a d10 for me?
Okay.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oof.
I don't know what that means, but...
Uh,
Oh.
boy.
It's fine. It's not anything to worry about.
Okay.
Don't cry. So later that week, after school, during practice, Theo, one of your teammates, I'm not gonna bother to name right now, one of your teammates comes up and bumps you and says, "You coming to the party this Saturday?"
Party?
Yeah, it's everyone's invited. Like everyone. They emphasize and kind of gestures grandly to the entire school. Um I don't know why it's happening, but free food, man. Like I don't
Yeah, I'm there for the food. Who's hosting?
uh the Okay, I hate my brain because my brain said the Macklemore twins and I was like, no.
Griffin.
What?
Griffin.
Alright. The Griffin twins or just Griffin?
Up to you.
Okay, Griffin twins. The Griffin twins are hosting.
Boy.
I guess like they have a giant backyard and I don't know, just
Do they have a pool?
Yes. But I think it's off I think it's supposed to be off limits, but who's actually gonna listen to that, right?
Anyways.
Yeah, so you coming?
Sure. Can I get an address?
Yeah, he rattles off an address and mentions it's posted it got sent in the team group chat like earlier today kind of thing. So
Perfect. Thank you for letting me know.
yeah,
I
no, hope to see you
failed to
there.
keep up with the messages.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. He kind of looks a little frustrated by how many messages get sent in that chat. But yeah, no, it's in there. I'll see you there, Theo.
Yeah,
Okay.
see ya.
And yes, even Thomas. It's thrown around the school. Everyone at some point has heard of it. Even felt like even some of the teachers have heard about the giant party that is going to be hosted at the Griffins. There's concern from the teachers just because knowing the kids, it's gonna go late. It's gonna be, and if people are going missing, and it's a little concerning, but some of you have heard that like Mr. and Mr. Griffin have sworn that they will make sure everybody gets home safe, even if they have to like drive them home themselves. Obviously a lot of people said that's completely unnecessary, but they have sworn that they're gonna make this happen. Um, what is Milo's thought on this?
If his friend asked him to go, he'd go.
He'd go?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Does his friend ask him?
Oscar's first party.
Yeah, Oscar's like, I don't want to go alone.
Aw. Yeah, he'd go.
Okay. All right. And Oscar seems a little bit more excited at the prospect of going because Milo will be there. And then
Very cute.
Thomas, how you hear about the party is you offhandedly hear it mentioned, like in the whispers during class lessons, but you realize it's literally everyone. Everyone has been invited. When you're, let's see here, I'm trying to figure out how to introduce this person. When the school custodian, who you know because he's a friend of your father, happens to ask you one day, well, later that week if you're going as well.
Thomas would probably just like quietly say, probably not. I don't see why I would need to go.
I mean, he like rests his hands on top of the cart, the mop cart thing. I can't think of the name of them. For mopping the school floors. And I was like, I feel like, I don't know, that everyone needs to go to at least one party, you know? I feel like if it was prom, I would definitely encourage, like, make sure you go. But he kind of like stares off. If they're inviting everyone, why not?
Thomas just sort of looks a little worried and goes, well, there's gonna be a lot of people, but also, like, I don't want to get home late.
Jack just kind of heaves a sigh and like lightly shoves at Thomas. Look, they're inviting everyone. Technically, that includes me. Am I gonna go? No, I'm not gonna go party with some teenagers. That's weird. But Thomas, you don't do anything fun.
Damn. Good.
We need you. You need to be able. You're a kid. You should do fun things.
Well, fun is subjective. Plus, like, I don't know. Is it weird that they're inviting everybody? Like, even the bigger parties before, they only invited, like, maybe, like, 20 other friends, but the entire school? That doesn't seem weird to you, does it?
It's the Griffins, like... Jack rolls his eyes. Look, Mr... Like, both of them, like, I knew them in school. He, like, sighs. They're eccentric, okay? And if they're inviting everyone, I mean, why not? And you, how do you know it's not going to be fun if you've never gone once?
Thomas still isn't completely convinced but just to end the conversation, goes, oh, okay, I'll go. Can I also roll for insight, I guess, onto the griffins?
Sure.
Like, this would, how much will my character know that they would be the kind of people to invite an entire schools with teenagers, which
Well,
out of character would seem like a bad idea.
yeah. It's, let's see here. I feel like you... So there's the closest to insight is you can either do, let's see here, empathize or comprehend.
I think I'll do comprehend.
Okay.
I roll?
What?
What do I roll? Is it?
It's your mind attribute
Comprehend.
plus your comprehend skill.
So be 8 dice.
Correct.
Dang. Guess he got, well, yeah, he got brain.
He got
Makes
brain.
He got the brain cells.
Galaxy brain.
No. It's spell out roll, and it's 8d6. There you go. All right.
Wow.
From what you
Not-
do know, the griffins. Nobody knows why the griffins originally moved to Haven Hill. They have way too much money. They have way too many connections based on things that your grandfather has said, based on things that you've heard just by being more or less a wallflower. You know that they could easily probably live anywhere, and yet they chose Haven Hill of all places. So you know that they can afford to fix anything if something was to go horribly wrong. You know, their child, your age, I need a name for, has like no fear. Huh?
Jim. Just do Jim.
Jim? Okay, Jim. You know, Jim Griffin has like zero fear. Does practically whatever he wants whenever he wants. Somehow isn't considered popular, but everyone knows who he is, even if that might be just because his parents are so rich. Yeah.
Finds it kind of odd that out of like all the places, and they don't have a particularly high opinion of Haven Hill. It's not bad, they just find it kind of uninteresting and kind of small towny.
Mm-hmm.
They probably find it weird, and although it makes logistic sense that they would be able to handle that many teenagers, still doesn't understand why they would do that unless they were just showing off, and that's going to be like Thomas's conclusion.
Okay. Thomas has come to the conclusion they're doing it for showing off. Awesome. Let's see here. And now we know everyone's gonna be at the party. And the party happens. You guys arrive. It's the weekend. Some of you may have had to sneak out of your house, depending. some of you were able to just calmly walk out the door. And as expected, the Griffins have a house that's way too large for the neighborhood. It just feels showy. It feels gaudy. It doesn't match like architecture of the nearby buildings. One of you may have heard your parents complain that they had bought land worth of 2 houses to knock them down to build their one giant one. Both of Mr. and Mr. Griffin are there welcoming people in, thanking whoever shows up, not even bothering to ask people to introduce themselves. Just anyone can walk in, and they're letting them. They're way too dressed up for a high school party. It's definitely you can't tell if they're trying to show off to some parents who may be dropping their kids off, if they're trying to show off to the teenagers coming, or if they're doing it for themselves. It's difficult to say, but it doesn't seem difficult to get inside, if that was anyone's concern. In fact, some of you, specifically at least one of you, is concerned exactly how much of a lack of security there actually is. Doors are open, windows are open, there's flashing lights in some rooms, music blasting in others. It appears to be the only request that Mr. and Mr. Griffin have is that no one goes upstairs. A lot of people don't even go inside. They follow a pathway from the sidewalk into the backyard, which isn't gated. There's no fence. It just spans. It's this giant open area. There's a pool at the, closer to the house with some of the vertical fencing that nobody can climb for safety reasons. There's beautiful, well-tended flowers. The patio is immaculate and covered with, and there's so much food everywhere. And drinks and punch and water, you name it, they have it available for people. Yeah.
Logan rolls up with her gang. Her gang, quote unquote, her clique. Probably Tallulah was driving. And as they arrive, Logan will probably peek out the window and note, I always forget how gaudy this place looks, but I guess it explains the stick-up gyms. Oh, look who showed up. And she's going to gesture for the other two to look at it. I don't know. Anyone else who looks a little bit out of place, who's not a typical party goer, so maybe everyone else in this session.
Okay. Let's see here. Does anybody want to volunteer to be bait, or do I need to roll dice?
Yes.
Bait?
Yes.
Go
I'm bait.
for it.
I'm bait.
Oh, Thomas is bait.
Thomas is bait. All right.
What I'm bait for, what I'm bait.
Tallulah parks haphazardly in the street definitely a bad attempt at a parallel parking, but she refuses to hear otherwise. She parked. It's amazing. Look at her. Um,
Of course.
and instead of, for the heck of it, is she's in such a good mood that she doesn't even like open up her door. She kind of like pulls herself out the window and like sits and like
Oh
stares
my god.
like while her legs are like on her seat, um and her arms are on the roof of her car, and she just kind of stares and she's like, they really said everyone, didn't they? And Nadia climbs out of the car, um closes like kind of haphazardly. She's wearing shoes she's not used to, refuses to admit it, but Logan, you immediately know that she's probably going to be walking around barefoot well before the night's over. Um, and is like, look, they can invite whoever they want. That just gives us more fun. And like stares at the resident bookworm.
This gets a grin from Logan as she also climbs out of the car. Closing it. Or go on?
Sorry, let's say, do you want me to describe how Thomas is coming to the party?
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
please.
Thomas has probably ditched his book bag, so he no longer has his encyclopedia. Oh no, such an important item.
Oh, no.
Has decided to go on a thick, and I'm assuming it's not that cold outside.
No.
Sort of a semi-thick, like winter jacket.
Okay.
And is currently just taking a very slow walk towards like the house. Is there like a
Oh, no.
side, like garden
Mhm.
road? Like
Yeah, there's totally like a pathway, like one of those.
Yeah, no one else is taking?
I'm sorry, what?
That no one else is taking.
Maybe not at this moment, but it's definitely one that everybody knows about. I'm kind of imagining it being like the very aesthetic giant garden rock flat tile like pathway sort of thing, if that makes sense. Where it looks like,
He would be
yeah,
sorry.
no, you're
He'd
good.
be taking a slow stroll through that.
Okay.
Logan would lean over to Lula and like not shouting, but definitely loud enough for her voice to potentially carry, be like, oh look, he doesn't have his nose buried in a book. Maybe he won't walk into something this time.
Tallulah totally cackles, like does not even like hold it back. And she's like, yeah, no, didn't he like bruise both, like have two black eyes that whole week?
He looked ridiculous.
It was the worst. Nadia crosses her arms and leans against the car and just kind of watches Thomas and shakes her head and just, he actually came? Like, who? Like, I knew they said everyone, but like, who actually comes to this? Like, that isn't personally invited. And Tallulah like shakes her head and she's like, doesn't matter. Let him enjoy the moment, I suppose. He'll probably never come to another one of these anyway. And Tallulah links her arms with both Nadia and Logan,
As is custom.
as is custom. And before you all stroll up to the front door, Tallulah looks at you and is like, any news on if Eric is coming?
Logan's smile kind of falters a little bit. And she looks away, shrugs. I don't know, I wasn't responding to my texts, but I think I heard something about him coming.
Both like Tallulah and Nadia like look at you. And you can tell they're very unimpressed with the way Eric is treating you.
Logan notices it, but pointedly looks away and pretends to not notice it, and actually tugs onto Lula's arm and is like, "All right, come on, what are we waiting for?"
Tallulah goes along with it, pulling Nadia as well, and nonchalantly states, if I see him, I'm punching him.
Don't. It's fine. Jeez, you're overreacting.
No, no such thing. Nadia giggles, and with almost like a skip, you all just head right inside. Does Thomas react at all to the commentary that he most certainly heard?
Or did you walk into something?
Or did he walk into something? Did we lose?
Matt?
No, I'm here.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were asking me a question. Did he walk into something?
No,
Okay.
I was asking if like he reacted at all to the
To the insult. Okay.
to like the insult, the commentary.
Mostly in his own head right now. So when he hears it, he just sort of like turns just a little back, and like peeks over his shoulder, sees him, and just turns back forward, and just sort of like in his head thinks, "Oh shit! I knew this was gonna happen."
Aw.
And speeds up his walking a little bit just to get out of the way, try to get to like
Yeah.
out of where he thinks they're gonna go.
Okay. Milo.
Hi.
Hi.
I feel like Oscar would have maybe met Milo at his house and they would have biked there together if that's allowed.
Totally allowed. I was about to say that if you didn't know, Oscar probably would have gone to pick up Milo.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. I feel like they bike lots of places together.
Yeah. Did Axel come with?
I was thinking of that, but I feel like he would have wanted to leave Axel simply because if it's a big party, he doesn't want him to get hurt.
Gotcha.
Like going to a busy house, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's
So
fair.
no.
Okay. So Milo and Oscar make their way to the party. You see the wonderful view. However wonderful you want to interpret that as. And you know, or one Mr. Griffin, with a bright smile, gestures that you guys can place your bikes in like the carport, that they'll be watched and you shouldn't have to worry about them getting stolen or anything.
Sus, but okay. He'll do that.
Oscar kind of follows behind. Definitely looks nervous. He's not quite like trembling, but you know, Milo, you get the intention, like you get the feeling that if Oscar like kickstands his bike and goes somewhere, you're definitely gonna see his hand shaking. But Milo being there is giving him confidence to continue.
He noticed. Sorry, go ahead.
No worries, you're good. No, keep going.
He just like probably give him a good clap on the back and say, "You'll be fine."
Oscar kind of gives like a small smile. It's like, yeah, no, we're gonna have so much fun.
Yes.
And you guys put your bikes in the designated spot, and you guys you can either go into the house or you can go into the backyard from where you are.
Do I get to pick?
You get to pick where Milo and Oscar are going.
Let's go in the house.
All right. So you both head in the house, and it's just as over the top as you would expect from the Griffins. In fact, Oscar looks kind of caught off guard by it. He's like, I know I heard they had money, but what the heck? Like, there's like a giant foyer and like stairs. The stairs are roped off, but like with stairs up to the second floor. And you think that might be like a crystal chandelier? Who has a chandelier? And like, there's this lighting on the floor set up almost to make it look like a guided pathway on this is the direction you go to go get food, and this is the direction you go to socialize, and you can't help but wonder if like they hired people to set this up or if they just have that much time on their hands. You're not quite sure. And as Milo and Oscar go wander around, Theo,
Yes.
how do you arrive to the party?
One sec, I actually have spicy Cheeto dust in my lung.
Oh no!
Okay. Probably, you know what? Yeah. No, she would have definitely showed up with Damien.
Mm-hmm.
Bright red bike, paint's a little scuffed. Wouldn't really. She might like, look around and see just who's there, at least within immediate sight. Stash the bike, and just, regardless of his hesitation, just have him gently by his sleeve and pull him along to the front door.
Damien is just kind of like, he kind of ends up like pointing at things, and he's like, that's Tallulah's car, and that's so-and-so, and that's... I mean, I should have expected them being here, but... Damien, like, side-eyes Theo. It's like, you think it's worth trying to avoid them?
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna talk shit lips, if karma doesn't hit them, I will. Come on.
Damien is kind of dragged along. And Damien just kind of like keeps pointing, and he's like, I didn't expect them to be here, but that's cool. And them and they're like, Damien somehow has like a mental list of who everyone is. And one of the griffins that greets you has like as stated before, they're dressed immaculate, overly so, and his dreadlocks are pulled back and wrapped almost in like a low ponytail with a ribbon, and his glasses are low on his nose, and his smile is just wide and welcoming, and he is like, glad you two came, and you recognize him because Jim tried out for your team, didn't make it, but they still show up to all the games.
Aww. Yeah, she'd definitely wear just as large of a smile, honestly, and give a little wave and just say, hey, yeah, thanks for the invitation.
he points, he kind of like gestures over his shoulder, and he's like, I'm pretty sure we have your favorite pizza, I think, assuming nobody else has gotten to it. I'm not sure. But let me know, and if so, we can order some more.
Thank you. Everyone's behaving so far, I assume?
He snarks, and he's like, so far, but you know, we, you know, he just kind of like shakes his head slightly. It's just a matter of time and who, so we'll see.
Theo just would nod sagely, maybe a bit sarcastic, but, you know, very lighthearted and knowing.
Before you guys pass him, he's like, do let me know if any trouble is stirred up, would you?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And he lets you guys in without like any further pausing.
And at that, Theo would probably, like, assuming Damien was more comfortable, she'd probably just wrap her arm over his shoulders as they continue, rather than pulling at his sleeve.
Yeah. Sounds good. So it's your turn. What are y'all doing in the party?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Beeline.
Drinks.
Is there a library?
There is a library.
Yeah, I don't think I need to explain.
Yeah. It's probably noisier than you hope. Just because of the way sound carries through this house. But yes, there is a library.
He's probably gonna just look and take a book, flip through it, see if it interests him, or put it back if not.
Okay. For the heck of it, investigate check.
Okay. Try and double check this.
All right. You do find a book that interests you. In fact, it looks like a version of a book you've read previously, but newer, maybe edited. It doesn't, just based on the first page alone, it feels different. Like details are changed, or they're drawing different conclusions than what the previous version had. And you notice this almost immediately because you read the book recently. You read the version in the library recently, or in the school library recently, to clarify. And out of curiosity, you kind of just flip through it, and in the back you find a little stamp, like one of those letter stamps with the chunk chunk kind of noise that makes. I don't know how else to explain it other than that feeling, like that noise. You see it says property of Chorus Communities.
Damn it. How are the details different? Are they like worse? Are they better?
It's like they have removed, almost like they've removed crucial information, like modified details, made the results of like this social experiment seem different than they actually were. And you probably wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't read the book just earlier this week, kind of thing, because it's still fresh in your mind, it's still fresh in your memory.
Tom's just gonna like side-eye the book a little bit. Kind of weird that it's supposedly the same book, but it's almost completely different in the smaller details. And he's gonna pick up another one and investigate a one he's read before, if he can find one, and look through it again and see if it's the same way.
Okay. Alright, go ahead and make the same roll. You do find a similar book. Another book that you have read semi-recently. And as far as you can tell, it looks exactly the same to as you have read it. And when you flip through the pages, this one does not have that stamp on it. It does not have the stamp stating Chorus Communities, property of Chorus Communities.
I find that odd, because I've never heard of a book owned by someone and yet still saying that it's owned by Chorus Communities. I mean, if you own a library, I would assume you own the books. I'm gonna put the book back, and I'm gonna try to look for. Sorry, what is the person who started the party's name again?
There's Jim Griffin.
The what?
And then
Yeah,
his
I'm gonna look for
dad's...
Mr. Griffin.
Okay.
And try to ask about the books.
There's the one who's greeting people. Well, both of them are greeting people, just they're in different different parts. Do you want to go to the one at the front door? Do you want to go to the one at the side? Directing people to the backyard.
Are either of them adults?
Both of those are adults.
Okay, I'll go to the closest one then at the door.
Okay. I'm gonna say that one's the one at the front door.
Yeah.
Alright. He doesn't see you approach. He's too busy greeting people at the front as they arrive, with his large smile and friendly demeanor.
I do a polite cough behind him.
He like kind of almost jolts, like bounces a little in surprise and turns, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Can I help you?"
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about. I'm sorry, it's gonna be weird, but your book collection? One of your books, I mean, suppose as a library you own the books. Why does one of them say they're property of Chorus?
Oh!
And why is it also like it's? I've read the original of it, and that one you have is really different. I'm curious where you got it.
I see. Yeah. What? You kind of like see him kind of like question why a teenager would be in the library during a party that they willingly came to. And
Willingly is a strong word.
willingly is a strong word, but this is his interpretation of events. And he's like, "Well, my husband teaches in Redacre, and a lot of times we get to he brings home books to use for later. As for it being different, I don't know what to tell you. And he kind of tilts his head sideways, and he's like, it shouldn't be different, but that is rather curious.
Yeah, I looked at the book. It's like, I mean, generally it looks the same. It's same author and everything, but it's edited. It's almost like, I don't know, someone remade it and tried to be really sneaky about it. I don't know.
Maybe.
But thank you, anyways.
You're welcome. Do keep in mind, though, that people release different editions of books with new information, new interpretation. So I wouldn't jump to conclusions yet, he states. And just kind of like looks at you.
I look back, or Thomas looks back, and Thomas walks away.
He watches
Is it like
Thomas walk away.
Is it like that speed shuffle you do where you're not taking long strides, it's just kind of, you know, quick, really quick shuffling away? Is that...
No, he does like a quick turn and just starts walking normally away. Because he's now lost in thought.
Alright.
Bless.
He reaffixes a smile on his face and goes back to being ready to greet people as they enter. Let's see here. Does anybody have anything they would like to do?
Theo is... As soon as she has food, she's probably gonna people watch and just listen and eavesdrop on any conversations. Assuming it's not too loud, which, you know, teenagers.
Mm-hmm. Depends on the room Theo and Damien are in. Or if they're outside, even.
You know what? Yeah, outside.
Okay. So Theo and Damien are outside. They're eating. Theo has managed to get a piece of her favorite pizza. Almost hidden off as if specifically for her. And there's numerous teenagers in the backyard gathered in little cliques in their little groups, laughing, joking, some of them horse playing around. You can see some of them debating the merits of hopping the fence to get to the pool. A couple of your teammates even are kind of like shoving each other around, and if you listen closely you can hear them trying to like double dog dare each other to be the first to get in the pool. Damien is there, hunkered down, managed to find a chair, and is like, I'm not moving from this position. If I leave this spot, I will never get a chair again.
Theo has mad respect.
And his eyes just kind of scan and watch and wait. Can I get a... We're gonna do... Can I just do a basic mind check from you? No bonus.
Yes. One sec. I wrote down all the specific roles for everything except for... Okay.
That would be... I think that's just...
46, yes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Yikes.
What you do manage to hear is kind of mishmash, almost incomprehensible. You do think you hear a couple references to some teenagers not going to stick around for long, that their parents made them promise they'd be home like by sundown kind of thing.
Sundown.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Dang it. And that they don't want to leave because look, it's practically unlimited food. There's so many things that they can drink. They don't want to leave, but the only way they could get their parents to agree to let them go was if they promised they'd be home by a specific time.
Aw.
And yeah. Let's see here. Damien kind of like bumps you, like taps you with his foot, with his shoe, and is like, "Would you give me a water?"
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
She'd quickly stand and go hunt down the beverages, TM.
As you like stand up, Damien like throws his legs into your chair. And it's like, "I'm not giving up your spot," kind of. So he's like,
definitely flash a grin and of gratitude.
So he's like awkwardly sitting in this chair and still like putting pizza in his face. You're not quite sure how he's managing it, but like props to him. And in your maneuvering to head towards the beverages, you walk near Milo and Oscar.
Yay!
Oscar has kind of shoved himself in a corner. Watching everyone, and like he's holding a drink, but it's obvious he hasn't even opened the can of soda yet. He's just holding it. And he's like just slightly shaking his head like, "I don't know, maybe I should go home. This is a lot of people."
Milo's giving him the pep talk. Or offering to go outside.
Do you do anything, Theo?
Might like pause for a minute and just wait to see, like, try and yeah, I'd say she's fairly subtle. Just attend to something else, but keep an ear out to see like what the exchange is exactly. More out of concern than eavesdropping.
Oscar's like taking a shaky breath in, and it's just like, I wanted to, but there's and he like looks at Milo and he's like, "There's just so many people. I didn't think like they'd all
I know. It's okay. It's he'd at that point he'd just take his arm and lead him outside.
Oscar lets himself get dragged. Like dragged, but also like kind of like plasters himself to Milo, like doesn't want to get separated from his friend in that regard.
Milo trips.
Milo trips,
Nice.
Oscar then trips. It's
Oh god.
it's let's see here.
Bumps into Logan. Logan screams.
Logan spills her drink. It splashes on Theo.
and Thomas just happens to be there reading a book, and the drink gets splashed on the book. There, we have a party. Okay.
You all get to choose if you actually want to run with that or not.
I mean,
I'm down.
I'm
not
down to bump into somebody. Milo or Oscar's too close. Milo trips on Oscar's foot. Who
Okay.
does Milo whack into?
probably Theo. It's up to Theo if they want to bump into Logan in turn.
You know what? Yeah.
Great.
It's a train
Great.
wreck. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
Is Thomas involved in this?
Yeah, is Thomas involved?
Is he gonna get drink all over his book?
Does he have a book?
I'm probably in the library looking through more books. I'm probably not all involved with what's going on right now.
Rest in peace.
I'm dead?
I
in
mean,
the-
Theo landing on someone. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, okay, so Oscar causes Milo bumps into Theo bumps into Logan. Logan, do you spill your drink?
Logan spills her drink, and you hear an audible swear that I am not going to say on this stream. As she stumbles. She
Okay.
probably doesn't fall over, but like she definitely her cup like gets knocked out of her hand and spills on like whoever is in the vicinity.
Nadia
Probably a little bit
shrieks.
on herself, too.
Nadia shrieks. Tallulah gives like a heavy sigh. Some random nearby jokingly says party foul. And this area is way too crowded for this many people.
Logan still on her feet, thankfully. I don't know if Oscar and Milo and Theo are all on the ground. But Logan would like whip around and just start glaring at whoever knocked into her and just snap, "Watch where you're going."
Theo would just throw her hands up. But her attention is more on the people that bumped into her. Like, sorry, Logan, but
Milo's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," and then you like try to help Theo stand straight.
Thomas is gonna peek out of the library and look at the scene and just like shake his head and just like slowly dip back in.
Oscar.
Milo brushes Theo off, like, "Are you okay? You look fine. You're doing great. Okay."
Theo would like step back and gesture towards Logan like, I'm fine, but
Oh, there's a small punch stain on down the front of her shirt. She looks down at her shirt, like processes the punch stain, and then looks up and glares at you three.
I don't have an
Says-
extra shirt, but you can have mine.
She wrinkles her nose and goes, "I don't want a shirt that smells like horse manure." Manure. I was gonna say the other word, but we're not gonna do that.
Ow!
yeah.
Oscar like kind of scrambles and grabs some napkins and it's just like, I am so sorry. I did not mean for that at all. We were going outside. I am so sorry. And Tallulah like grabs the napkins out of his hands and it's just like, just be more aware, and then like hands them to Logan, like, clean up your shirt, and like just kind of like stares at Oscar and Oscar stares back, and it's just like this silent, not argument, but almost like a standoff, and Oscar is losing.
Oh.
Logan took the napkins and isn't even looking at the others. Is just like kind of turned away, trying to like mop up what she can. Yeah, she's just trying to like figure out her own shirt situation.
Nadia is totally helping Logan with her shirt. And Tallulah crosses her arms and kind of like cocks her hip to the side in like the most cocky stance possible. And Oscar shrinks back.
I honestly think Theo would stick her arm out like in front of Oscar and Milo at that point, like not like stopping them from approaching Logan, but more of a I guess defensive of the two.
Okay.
Right, eye contact, you'll diffuse the situation.
I hate to say it, but Milo probably didn't notice.
Yeah, you want to get in the staring contest with Theo?
Once they'd gotten the shirt cleaned up best they could, which isn't very well. Unfortunately, it's a white shirt. And it was red punch. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, been there.
Logan turns and kind of moving up to stand like to the side of Tallulah, just kind of goes, "Next time, just stay on the farm."
How'd you know I had a farm?
Is that in character?
Yes.
Tallulah and Nadia both like shoot Milo a look and they're like, "Have you seen yourself?"
How do I respond to that quick?
Was that out loud?
Yeah.
Logan kind of smirks a little and looks between the two of them and goes, "Evidently not."
Listen, the first bump was an accident. The second won't be.
Bristle.
A grin totally spreads across Tallulah's lips. And like bright red paint, like bright lipstick lips. And she's just like, "Oh, you want to do this here?
Do you want to?
I'm asking you."
Sure.
No, Milo's gonna be like, no, what are we doing in here? No, we're not gonna do anything in here.
Logan rolls her eyes and scoffs loudly, then kind of like loops her arm through Tallulah's and tries to kind of turn her away and just directed at Tallulah and Nadia. They're not worth it.
Tallulah like kind of glances at Logan, but doesn't actually let Theo out of her like periphery. And she's like, "I don't know. It could be satisfying." And Nadia just kind of like puts her hands on her hips, leans back, and is just like, I don't know. I mean, she plays lacrosse. Probably fights dirty.
Logan actually like stifles another snicker.
I mean, she's not wrong. And Theo doesn't give a shit. She's just gonna keep looking. Oops, my bad. That's
So bad
Oh
tonight.
my
I
god.
am so sorry.
That's two.
Logan's not even looking at Theo anymore. She's very much like trying to guide Lula and Nadia away. And she kind of tugs on Lula's arm again and is like, Come on, I want to figure out if I can get this out anymore. Referring to the stain down her shirt. Maybe they got like cleaning supplies somewhere or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Lula heaves a sigh and she's like, all right, I'll kick Theo's ass next time. And like makes a point of turning her back and heading off. Nadia kind of sticks around for a bit with a giant grin on her face.
Theo's wearing one right back.
And looks down, looks back up, definitely like looks Theo over. And it's just all, you ready for the game next week?
Yep.
Well, don't disappoint, okay?
When have I ever?
Nadia cackles, looks at Milo, and gives a short wave, and then kind of flounces off after the other two.
He'll look confused but wave back.
And as you look, Oscar's gone.
I was just gonna say, look and see if he's cool, but I guess he's not.
Yeah, Oscar is not there, not nearby anymore.
I keep losing things. I just look around for him, I guess. Call his name a little bit. Or ask Theo, if she saw anything.
Nah, she was probably, she'd just be like, she'd shake her head.
He looks stumped and then shrug and then start looking.
Do you want help?
Yes, please. I don't think he should be alone.
Oh.
Yeah. Let me get some water for friend real quick, and then I'll help you search.
Okay, he followed Theo.
Time to hydrate.
Hydrate before you dihydrate. You find plenty of water bottles, all kept nice and cold. You also find like a cooler filled with ice water propped up that you can use instead.
Yes.
And then a couple like clear plastic cups nearby. Just a couple different options that you can use.
I think she'd grab both just for the sake of like having options, I
Gotcha.
guess.
Okay. You have no issue getting the water. It looks like nobody else really wants water. Everyone's taking advantage of the opportunity to drink all of the sugary deliciousness available.
Definitely not spiked.
Totally not spiked.
No.
Does Milo grab anything?
No, he's
Okay.
worried.
Fair. All right. And I assume you both head to Damien.
Yeah.
Damien is still kind of sprawled across the chairs. His head leaned like at an awkward angle. Definitely is probably going to be sore if he remains in that position for too much longer. He has his plate, his paper plate that had pizza on it is just kind of like resting on his stomach, empty, kind of crumbly, and he's just kind of staring into the madness of what is happening outside. Looks like some people have managed to get into the pool. Some less happy about it than others. Looks like somebody got thrown in the pool, which is what started all of this. A couple people are playing what looks like Truth or Dare. Like, there's some... You think another group is playing maybe Mafia in the corner? As much of a corner as the backyard can be, anyway. And Damien is just absorbing all of this.
Theo would approach and present both the water bottle and the cup, but she'd like put her knee pointedly on the chair just so just like a hey, get yourself more comfortable in your own chair as she's offering.
He almost like falls out of the chair in his process to get more upright. And he's like, thanks, I appreciate it. And he takes both in hand and chugs the water that's in the cup before like pouring more water from the bottle into the cup, and just kind of like stares like, dude, I did not... How are they gonna clean up all of this? He kind of laughs, and then like he looks and he sees Milo, and he sees how nervous or worried Milo is, and he's like, is he okay?
His friend went missing, and I'm going to go help scout him out. Don't worry about saving a seat, but would you want to join us, or would you prefer to stay here?
He kind of like scratches at the back of his head, looks around the backyard, and is like, I'll help, and stands up. And you kind of see him like pat the chair, like, it was nice knowing you while it lasted. And
Question, actually.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of chair is it, and are there bushes around?
I was kind of imagining it being like one of those stackable white plastic chairs that if you're not careful and you lean too far back, like it just snaps in half kind of thing. But you can buy like multiples of them and they just very easily stack on top of each other for ease of storage. So not folding ones, but
If possible, Theo would like lift up his chair and stash it in the bushes as discreetly as possible, if that is possible. If there's any foliage.
you want to
Otherwise, no.
try and do a sneak check?
Yeah, let's go.
Are you trying to hide an entire chair?
Yes.
Okay, sneak check. Sneak body, please.
No.
You kind of like try and get it finagled in like this gap in the bushes, but no matter what you do, like these blinding bright plastic chair legs just kind of stick out like some sort of avant-garde art, like out of the bushes. And Damien looks at that and kind of gives you a thumbs up, like, better than I could do.
That'll do.
That'll do. Looks at Milo and is like, who are we looking for?
Do you know Oscar?
You can see him like rack his brain. And he's like, newer kid?
Is Oscar a newer kid?
Yes.
Okay, then yes.
Uh,
Yes, that's the one.
yeah, okay. Alright. I'll look around out here. If you guys want to take a look inside.
Sure.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's like, I'll text you if I find anything, Theo.
All right. Same. Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Where do you go looking?
Mm.
Where?
did Finch's where'd Logan go?
Logan and them went to the bathroom, I would assume, to try
I
and
feel
like
like it'd be
clear her shirt.
Ugh, typical teenage clique.
I feel like they go the opposite direction then.
All right. I'm gonna say there's like a kitchen, a dining room, a long a hallway, a common space area, which it's you think or you've heard the rumor that like they'll play movies in there, like on a projector on the wall kind of thing. There's the library itself. There's maybe an office, a couple different rooms that you're not sure what they're there for. Like it's quite a large sprawling floor.
Can we start with the movie place if possible?
Totally. So,
Then we'll go bother Thomas.
okay. So, the movie is some sort of like local, like a movie from a local film festival kind of thing, that you feel like you heard about because the director is like a freshman in college, but they're using old film skill, like old film style, where it's the black and white and no audio except for some music playing, but yet this very immaculate story is being told. I keep using the word immaculate tonight.
It's a good word.
And everyone has commented on like the beautiful video shots, but no one can actually tell you what the story is. No one really knows. There's it looks like the entirety of the 7 people that make up like the movie club from school has basically taken over that room.
Okay.
There's a giant that giant almost like body size bag of popcorn kind of thing, like the plastic bag with the popcorn. They have like one of those cut carefully lengthwise so everybody can just reach down and grab from the whole of it. There's like surround sound speakers, which doesn't make sense for this movie, but they're enjoying the music anyway. But Oscar is not there. No.
Oh dear.
He'd ask someone in there if they saw Oscar.
The person shakes their head and they're like, no one has. You two are the first ones to join us since the movie started.
He'd say, okay, thank you. And then he would leave.
Okay.
Theo would gently nudge his shoulder and just say, like, do you know of anything he enjoys? Any spots he might find comfort in?
Nothing in this house, probably.
Fair enough.
But something more quiet, maybe. What's a more quiet place they could go to? Like, can we go to the library and bother Thomas?
You can totally go to the library and bother Thomas. Nothing's stopping you from bothering Thomas except yourself.
Okay, yay. Let's go.
There is no actual door itself to the library. It's just kind of like this open archway into it. What is Thomas up to? Other than reading, I mean. Thomas. Did we lose Thomas?
Thomas!
Max.
Maxwell!
Oh, Jesus.
In the
I'm
arms
so...
of the angel.
You're double muted.
Oh, no.
Huh?
Oh, my God.
Hi.
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 What is...
You good?
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Wait, oh, sorry.
No, you're okay.
Alright. Okay, Thomas. Thomas!
Yes. Yes.
You're in the library!
Yes, I am.
Milo and Theo have entered the library.
Yes, okay. Sorry, I was
Oh
Okay,
my
yeah.
god. Okay, hold on.
So
What
what
is
Thomas up to?
No!
Wait, what?
What is happening? Why is this song playing? Oh my gosh. No! What is happening tonight? Okay. Alright. Yeah, so Theo and Milo have entered the library and Thomas is there.
He is.
Interact.
Are they talking? Wait, are they talking to me? Or are they?
They walked in, and that's it.
Okay. Thomas is probably going to look up slightly and then look right down back at the book he's looking at.
Can Milo see Oscar in there?
Not
Oh, okay.
immediately. If he's in there, it's kind of large and there's really tall bookcases.
Okay. Then, yeah, we'll try to behave. He'd go over, excuse me, he'd go over to, Thomas and directly ask, have you seen Oscar?
I don't know an Oscar now. I'm pretty much the only one who went in here. Sorry.
He'd look disappointed, but he'd nod and say thank you. What are you reading?
Shit. I had to figure out what I'm reading.
Oh, there's another for the jar.
Darn.
Mhm.
Alright. Thomas is probably reading another, study, I guess, on, something about sociology, flow of ideas, sort of thing. I'm not saying that in character, by the way.
He's
In
saying-
character, Thomas would say, oh, it's just, studies into, like, societal stuff.
Milo would squint so hard. And he looked so confused. And he'd say, keep up the good work. And leave.
Thomas kind of, like, looks really confused and just goes, okay. Goes right back to the book.
Yeah, Theo will trail right on out and give a little wave that Thomas assumingly doesn't see.
No. Willingly, though.
Is Thomas gonna help us?
You want to ask Thomas to help you guys?
You have given Thomas no reason to help you.
You should ask Thomas to help you guys.
Yeah, actually, Thomas, can you help? I don't. I feel like they never interacted before in their lives.
No.
Is that no
Thomas...
in character?
No. No, it is not in character. Thomas is going to say a little bit confused. Why would you want me to help? I don't really know you.
You look smart.
Thank you?
Yeah, no problem. Are you gonna help or no?
He sighs and takes the book and puts it back and goes, I guess I am? I
Yes.
feel like I don't have
Okay.
a choice.
Yes. We got him. All right.
He starts following, but he keeps like a good 2 arms distance between him and the big rest of the group.
Where to next? Out of character.
Is Amber back?
I
Not
am.
yet. Oh. Oh,
Okay.
back.
Hi.
Yeah. So there's still a couple rooms that you can explore and try.
There's always upstairs.
There is always upstairs as well.
It's quiet up there.
And it is roped off.
Upstairs.
Alright. Are you gonna try the upstairs in the foyer, or are you gonna try for a different, try and see if there's any other stairs elsewhere?
I mean, are there a lot of people in the foyer?
There's one of the Mr. Griffins in there, at least.
Well, that's an issue.
I
Oh, go
I
ahead.
take a small walk up to Milo and sort of whisper, "Hey, we could ask him. He's probably seen whoever this Oscar is."
Oh, that's a good idea. He'd go do that then. Yeah. Ask Mr. Griffin.
Mr. Griffin thinks on it, and he's like, actually, no one's been upstairs. I mean, other than my son briefly. But some people have left already. Could he have left?
Oh, can Milo go check the bikes real quick?
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, Milo can check the bikes.
He'd think the Griffin before leaving.
Alright. I'm gonna make a secret roll.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Let's see.
It's not much of a secret if you tell us.
I'm telling you because I'm not gonna let you see the numbers.
Oh.
Alright.
Max.
Foresight.
Alright. You do not see Oscar's bike.
He wouldn't leave though, would he? Does Milo think he would potentially leave by himself?
Milo, do an empathize roll.
Oh. Milo doesn't think, apparently.
Milo
I
Milo
love Milo.
doesn't Milo isn't sure on exactly how well he actually knows Oscar. So he can't say one way or the other.
Oh, okay. Hmm. I'm thinking. Well, I mean, if the other two followed him out, he'd point it out and he'd say, "We came on bikes, and Oscar's bike isn't here." So,
Maybe he went home? Would he leave without saying anything?
I don't know. Unsure.
Hmm.
Is there anything there? Like hints or anything to look at or no?
You can investigate.
Okay.
So investigate mind.
Oh boy.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Milo, you don't see anything, and you're becoming upset over the fact that you don't know where your friend is.
Oh. What does that mean?
That means that any future rolls, you actually have to get 2 6s for it to be considered a success.
Oh.
At least for the rest of this session.
Interesting. Okay. And he'd look a little grumpy, I guess. And he'd just, I don't know, look at the other two. See what they gotta say.
Thomas is like reeling back just a little bit, just like, nope, nope, this is not the social interaction that I was ever hoping for.
Other people also can investigate should they wish.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. One sec. I don't think my roll is that good anyways, though. As a warning. Oh, my god.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Theo, after Milo had pointed out to you where Oscar's bike was and everything, you notice that there's no other bikes in the immediate vicinity. Like, even Milo's bike is slightly further away than one would expect. And somehow Milo missed it, but you find Oscar's school ID on the ground.
She'd kneel down and pick it up, brush it off of any dust that might have, or dirt, dust, whatever, and offered it to Milo, and then just asked, "Did you guys park that far away?"
No? Was his bike, are you saying his bike was moved from where he put it?
Maybe.
He can't tell?
You can't tell.
Oh, okay, then
Oh.
he's just gonna say, I don't know.
I think Theo would raise a brow, but Thomas, you're the brains here. Would it?
Does Thomas want to roll investigation?
Thomas wants.
Sure.
Okay, roll investigation.
Not really doing it because he wants to, but more out of obligation. Nope.
Man.
Bruh.
Yeah, you can't really tell.
Can I call him?
You can totally call him.
I'm gonna call him.
Big brain yet again.
Alright. You call. And let's see here. Hold on. You call. And it rings and rings and rings. And you get sent a voicemail.
I'm not surprised by this outcome. Can I leave a message?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do I have to say it? Do you want me to say it? I can say it.
You don't have to say it. I would like that you end up sending me it in text for the future. If you don't say it out loud now.
Oh no, I can.
Okay.
He'll just be like, "Hey, where'd you go? I don't see your bike in the garage. You're not picking up. I also wait. Actually, can we pause it halfway and then
Yeah,
did
totally.
Theo show Milo the card?
Yeah, she would have handed it, like offered it up in case he wanted it.
Okay, he'd have that too, and then he'd say on the voicemail, he'd say, "I also found your school ID. You must have dropped it. Call me back whenever you can. See you later." And then you hang up.
Okay. Alright. Theo, you receive a text message.
Oh dear.
From Damien. And Damien says, "Hey, meet me in the backyard."
Oh.
Oh boy. She'd just say, "Hey, before I left, Damien said that he'd contact me if he got any information, and he's asking to meet in the backyard if you two want to follow."
Oh, okay, yeah, he'd follow.
Does Thomas?
I'm gonna flip a coin just to see.
Okay.
Come on, Thomas, you're invested now.
Thomas follows.
Yeah.
Begrudgingly,
No.
begrudgingly.
Alright, before we follow that, Logan.
I was about to say, poor Logan. I'm
Yep.
so sorry.
No worries.
Yeah.
She's trying to get the stand for sure.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Logan, you've been working on getting the stain out of your shirt. Nadia is kind of like sitting on like the bathroom sink counter, like handing you things as you need it. Saying things like, "I heard cold water helps, so like maybe, you know, if you take your top off, we run it under the sink, maybe we can do something about it." Things of that nature. Just random like household stain remover things that she somehow happens to know. Tallulah is leaning against the bathroom door, keeping it closed and ignoring any like knocks on it. When people are like way too invested trying to get in, she's like, "There's another bathroom," and like then ignores them. You can tell when you look at her that she's a little disappointed that she hasn't gotten to throw hands with anybody yet tonight. She's like almost like she came to the party looking for a fight.
Oh my god.
But she doesn't want to leave her girl's side, so she's not going to. Nadia kind of like sighs after a bit of you trying to get the stain out. And it's like, worst comes to worst, I give you my jacket, you take off your shirt, and you just wear the jacket zipped up without the shirt.
Logan has pretty much also come to the same conclusion of, yeah, no, this isn't coming out like tonight. I'd have to like put it through a proper washing machine, whatever. She's probably wearing like the same outfit roughly that she wore to school, so she has the little red second layer, and she'll just wave her hand and say, no, it's fine, and just wear it properly, and button up the front, that way the stain isn't as visible. And she just shrugs and turns to the other two and says, I'll figure it out when I get home. Can we just, I don't know, get another drink?
Tallulah, Nadia kind of like slides off the sink counter, and is like, yeah, no, like let's try and stay away from something sugary right now, just so we don't have a repeat performance. And Tallulah slowly moves away from the door and kind of like throws it open. At a glance, you notice she's been looking at her phone off and on. It seems displeased with what she's seeing on it.
As they head out of the bathroom, Logan would kind of nudge Lula and nod towards her phone. What's up?
Tallulah looks like she's weighing the benefit of saying anything.
Logan gives her like a, well, why won't you tell me kind of look. Has an extra little bit of pressure to, come on, you can share.
No one's seen Eric.
The joking expression falters, and she frowns and also pulls out her phone, and I assume there are no text messages from Eric.
There are not.
She sends off a quick text message of a where are you question mark, and then pockets it again and shrugs and says, well, maybe he just didn't want to come.
Nadia sounds uncertain when she's like, I don't know, wasn't he helping Jem with telling everybody about this party? Wasn't it like a co-thing almost?
Yeah, but I don't know, he's been kind of finicky the last few days.
Finicky is a word for it, Tallulah states.
Logan also looks a little bit uncertain now, but tries to mask it with a smile and nudges Lula again with a, what, are you really that eager to throw hands with him?
She thinks about it. It's more about the disrespect. It's he's your boyfriend and he can't even bother to like pay attention to you. You do his homework for him. You're constantly defending him, and he can't even bother to text you to tell you he's not coming to the party that he told you about. Don't you think that's a little weird?
Logan looks again uncertain and starts to gesture kind of vaguely with a maybe he got like sick or something.
Tallulah shakes her head. You get the impression that she's like, okay, it's not worth fighting about this right now. And leads Logan and Nadia to the drinks and food and things. You can almost see her like counting down, trying to lower her ready to throw hands, or just like yell anything like argumentative. She's very, it's like when she was in the bathroom with you guys, she was just steadily like mentally winding herself up and getting herself more and more frustrated about the whole situation. And you get the impression that this is not going to be the last time you hear about this from her.
Yeah. Logan notices, but just kind of tries to occupy herself with another drink and with watching the crowd until they figure out what they want to do next.
Nadia bumps Logan with her hip, and she's like, let's go outside. It sounds like they're having fun out there. And as you listen, you can hear like the shrieks and the laughter and the chaos that is currently happening in the backyard.
She is thankful for the direction, aside from standing awkwardly, and nudges Lula as well, and gestures for her to follow Nadia and her with come on.
The three of you head into the backyard, and with the way where you guys end up, it's almost like you are surveying the school. You can, being on the porch, you're slightly elevated, and you can almost literally see the boundaries of where each clique and group has separated and situated themselves in the outside. The only place where that seems a little bit murky is the group of people who have made their way into the pool. But you can also see a Mr. Griffin inside the pool area, encouraging people to get out of the pool and handing out extremely fluffy towels for people to dry off with. He looks disappointed that they all made their way into the pool, but he has like that like a slight turn to his lips of like amusement and doesn't want to admit like he's trying to hide it from the teens, but everybody can see it from a mile away. You know from previous parties and events that you have been to that this is the Mr. Griffin in question is the one that usually ends up causing these sorts of events in the first place. And then you guys kind of enjoy being outside, and the sky is darkening, and that's when like Theo, Thomas, and Milo also have made their way outside.
God.
And Damien kind of waves the three of you down. Not like off the porch, kind of off to the side. I would say it's opposite side of the yard from where you tried to hide the chair. And Damien tries to smile and it doesn't work. And he looks at Milo and he says, I heard from a couple people that that Oscar might have rode his bike into the woods.
Why? Do you know why?
They said he looked shaken, and he probably, my guess is he probably just wanted to get home as fast as possible.
Is his house that direction? Can I tell?
You would know that if he happened to cut through the little like wooded area in the backyard, he would get to a main street that he could then get home from. So just based on what you know of the map of the area. So theoretically, yes, he could get home that way.
Milo's squinting. Okay, okay, thank you. I should... He's not answering. I don't know if I should look for him or if he'll just be fine.
Does he usually not answer?
Am I allowed to say no?
You're allowed to say no.
No.
Do you want to go check on him?
Yeah, I do. He was the one who wanted to come here, but when we got here, he was nervous, that's him. But I thought he would have told me if he was leaving. But I should probably go look. Yeah.
And the sky continues to darken. And as you talk, you realize it is now night. And with the sun going down, a large amount of fellow teenagers have vacated the party, whether from not wanting to be there anymore, from having been drenched, being dumped into the pool, or from their parents having revoked privileges of being out and about. There is a significantly less amount of people in the area.
Is Logan there?
Logan is on the porch with her two besties.
Probably sitting at like some table or whatever.
Oh. I'm trying to think what he would do.
You're good.
Can he walk over there?
Of course. Nothing's stopping him.
Okay. Okay, he'd walk over there and ask them, have any of you seen Oscar?
Lula immediately goes, who?
Was she the one that was staring?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The one you were looking at a lot?
When they'd walked over, Logan had very pointedly drawn back, turned her like torso away from them approaching, and like pointedly looked to make sure and moved her drink away from to the opposite end of the table from where they were approaching.
Okay. Tula's like, oh, yeah, the mouse. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Have you seen him?
Not since...
Did he say anything to you? Sorry.
No. We've been
What
in the
are we,
bathroom.
babysitters?
What'd you
Tula,
say,
like,
Finn?
yeah, Tula shot a look at Logan as they talked over each other.
Logan repeats that we're not his babysitters.
Well, if you scared him away, the least you could do is help me find him.
If he ran away, that's his own problem.
Nadia's eyes are going back and forth between the two, watching it, like, almost gleefully. Not, like, intercepting whatsoever, but enjoying this back and forth.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Non-character.
Mm-hmm.
As, you know, we're walking throughout the houses, does Thomas notice any cameras?
You can do an investigate check. Or,
I'm investigating.
or... Okay.
Oh.
Oh gosh, is there any cameras? Let's see. If there are cameras, they are on the outside, not on the inside.
So I do not see any cameras.
No.
Alright.
You want to go look for a surveillance room? Why is emoji?
I mean, Thomas would have no reason to look for a surveillance room
No,
if there's
that
no
was a joke,
cameras.
don't worry.
Oh. Thomas just looks really uncomfortable. Like, really wants to leave, but feels an obligation to still stay.
Tallulah has kind of like leaned back in her chair, crossed her arms, crossed her legs, like, and just kind of like stares. And she's like, so the mouse went missing?
Well, I was told he went home through the woods. So maybe not missing. No. Hopefully not. You think he's missing? Oh my god, people are going missing. It's night. Oh my god. And then he'd start freaking out.
Oh no.
Dude, chill.
Even Nadia kind of looks a little like, oh no. Doesn't say anything, but you can tell like her eyes have widened and she's like paled ever so slightly. Tallulah it's like, well, did you call?
Yeah, it rang all the way, but he didn't answer. Do you want to call?
Why would he answer if I called?
I don't know. I don't know.
She looks at Nadia and then looks at Logan. Looks back at Nadia, and Nadia has now, like, without explanation, taken off her shoes. Like,
What?
and she kind of like stands up and like puts her shoes off to the side, and she's like, he went through the woods?
Yeah?
when people are going missing in the woods.
You're right, yeah. He did. He, like, have an epiphany.
Oh dear.
Nadia like looks at Logan and Lula, and she's like, you don't want to be the reason somebody went missing.
Oh.
It wasn't our fault.
She like heaves a sigh and puts down her stuff, and she's like, just watch my things, I'm gonna go look. And like starts walking off barefoot.
Logan springs out of her chair and is like, wait, hold on, you're not going on your own.
Who's to stop me? She like calls back, kind of shoots a smile over her shoulder. You kind of get the feeling that was her intent. And Tallulah sighs and grabs Nadia's shoes, and she's like, come on, let's go. And like stands up and then like goes marching toward like after Nadia.
It's a party.
It's a party.
Yay!
Let's go.
Milo would follow them.
Yup. And Theo would glance back to Thomas and try and read his expression to see if he'd come along or not.
He just looks confused. Like, he doesn't know why he's still there. It's obviously he can't do very much to help out. He doesn't even know who this person is. Assumes that it's his brother or something, but even then, he's no idea. Continues to follow, though. Though he is thinking about possibly just leaving since it's starting to get late.
The mystery gang. Let's
Mhm.
go.
All right. And with that, we're going to end the session here.
No!
Yep.
Bro.
Man, okay.
I'm sorry, time skipped to next Sunday.
All right, players, I will be right back. Say goodbye into chat.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening. Hope you all enjoyed.
All right, and I will be right back with you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching Session 1 of Better Than Paradise's B-Side, Tales from the Loop Blackout Club inspired campaign. Join us next Sunday for Session 2, or this Wednesday for Session 3 of A-Side. Thank you, everyone, so very much for being here. And reminder, you can submit stars and wishes to let us know what you enjoyed or things that you hope to see. You can also submit some positive affirmations to the players, let them know what they did wonderful if you so wish. And you can also join our Discord to discuss any kind of spoilers, any speculations you have of future plot stuff, and we hope to see you again soon. Until next time.